All right, what up? This is episode number 12, and we're talking about content creation with your heart, as well as answering questions on haters, motivation, moving past roadblocks, and getting noticed. All right, let's have a good show, B. Found it? All right, welcome back to Get in the Lab, the raw truth about building a business together. I am your host, Megan Pangan.
And I'm Kevin.
And let's get in the lab. All right, B. So, like I said, we are going to talk about content creation with our heart. But first, I want to take some time to thank our sponsor. We have a sponsor now. What up?
What up? From Audible, right?
Audible.com. Yeah.
Awesome.
So we now have a sponsor. I've been wanting to do this for a while because I love Audible. I use it almost every day listening to audiobooks. And you can visit audibletrial.com/getinTheLab podcast, I believe, for your free download of any book. They have over 150,000 titles to choose from, as well as a 30-day free trial. So just visit audibletrial.com/getinTheLab podcast. The show notes will be in the description below. So before we get into today's topic, let's talk updates.
All right.
So what were we doing this past week? Because it was pretty exciting, pretty go-go.
Yeah, it was pretty fast-paced.
Yeah.
We just took off to D.C. on Thursday night.
Yeah.
Landed in D.C. Well, actually landed in Boston, then went to D.C.
Yeah.
and start shooting an engagement session. Took a 3-hour nap.
Yep.
And woke up to shoot a wedding.
Yeah, that's
And after that, flew back.
Yep.
Finally, through a trip from New York, 6-hour flight back to California.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was just, I'm not a big fan of travel. It's cool when you get there, but for me to actually sit in the plane where you can't sleep or move or do anything, and I don't know,
I was reading an article on Gizmodo, and they
Yeah.
said the U.S. we have the most comfortable seats.
What?
Yeah,
do
than
you
any
mean the
other
US?
country. Yeah, our airplanes have the most comfortable passenger seats.
What are our airplanes like? All of them?
No, yeah, the U.S. Airways, Continental, all those.
What did
all
we
them
ride? JetBlue?
Yeah, we
JetBlue?
rode JetBlue.
I don't know. I was not comfortable.
But they say we have one of the most spacious
well,
compared to the others.
they need a plane like in freaking Fifth Element, where you just lie down and you just knock the fuck out, and then you wake up and you're there. You're like, oh, that was cool. And then we were welcome when we got back. I wanted to mention and give a shout out to Kimanzi, a writer that we made friends with from entrepreneur.com, and Jared Easley. Shout out to them because we were featured on entrepreneur.com as one of the up and coming podcasts to listen to, along with
that was so exciting.
Yeah, along with 8 other shows who were really, they're really good too. So you should check out this article. We'll put it in the show notes, and give a listen to all the other shows up there, because it really is all about the up and comers. And, it gets kind of boring and monotonous to see the same names and faces over and over again. So take a look at this list and show some love and support to these other people who are also up and comers. So shout out to you guys as well. All right, so now it's time for the husband and wife tag.
All right, you're up.
Yeah, this is a fun little segment where we have these little questions so you guys can get to know us through these little things. All right, so what's my favorite cereal?
I don't think you have one,
Yeah.
but I'm just going to guess it's those flakes.
No, I don't
Those
eat cereal.
Kellogg flakes.
No,
I don't know.
I don't
All
eat
right.
cereal.
That's a bad one.
There you go, V.
All right. And
Let us know if you guys dig the
What
husband and wife tag. If
is
not,
one food I don't like?
one food that you don't like: goat
Yeah.
and blue cheese,
Oh, hell yeah.
gorgonzola cheese.
Just one.
Yeah.
But yeah. All
There's
those
a lot.
I hate.
There's a lot where you're like, oh, I hate that.
Just can't take it.
No, those are pretty strong tastes.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right, let's get into it. Let's talk content creation with heart. Well, what does that even mean? So, this is a kind of term and idea that I've kind of been playing around, and it's because, I've been creating a lot of content for the past like 2 years. And the reason behind creating all that content was because I had to, and I've been telling people this every time I get interviewed or like, what drives you? What motivates you? I tell people, I had to do it. It was like therapy for myself. I had to talk about my sob story for like a year and a half. And I had to create things that were like, problems and issues that were going on in our relationship or in my life at that time. And I just had to do it. It was coming from my heart, basically. And so the importance of creating content with your heart as an online content creator and entrepreneur with an online business, it's going to give your platform, your personal brand, legs. We're still talking in the means of, building your foundation.
Yeah.
What does it take to build a strong foundation for a lasting, timeless business that you want, right? It comes with creating content with your heart. You're generous, you're giving first, other than asking first. And it comes from a very strong why. Like, why are you creating this content in the first place? This blog post or video or this podcast. Why are we doing this in the first place? So a real life example for us right now that I can, kind of at the top of my head, this podcast is here because I've seen an incredible transformation within myself, within our relationship and you, as far as to where we have started, 2, 4, 8, years ago as friends, and then as a couple, as business partners, as entrepreneurs separately, and our kind of like transformation all together. Now it's culminating here on this podcast, and we get to bring all that experience and pain and struggle and compassion together on this show for you guys to see and learn from and be inspired from. So that is why content creation is so powerful, because look at where it has brought us.
Yeah. I think creating content from heart is very important. It allows you to be distinguishable from the market.
Right.
Yeah. If we didn't shoot the way we shoot, then we're just being a very generic brand.
Right.
We're just like the rest of the people that aren't thinking creatively or unique. So creating it from the heart, you're putting yourself at a higher position and showing your passion to the public. They're able to distinguish your specific style or specific products or specific contents that you're very consistent with in sharing.
Right. I think that's super important. Like, in order for you to stand out and be unique and to really be you, it has to come from really being you. Because when you first start out as being an entrepreneur, it's very easy to copy. And there's nothing wrong with copying in the beginning, because you're learning, you're getting your feet wet.
Yeah.
You're just kind of seeing what it can do. It's like,
you're testing the waters. You're a bit lost, but always remember to kind of relate it back to yourself.
Right.
And really hold meaning of why you're doing what you're doing.
Right.
And I just want to point out that being distinguished and setting yourself in the market is what will set yourself in creating content that people will see that's valuable because you think it's also valuable. And we were speaking before, like creating content, it's whatever before. Or did we say that? Or
well, I'm going to give a very clean example when you were saying that to me. And I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. But go ahead. Yeah. What's your real life example?
So my real life example with creating content with heart is that before, clients will come up to me and they say, we love the colors of your photos. Like, we love what you're putting out, the genuine photos that are being placed in a storyline. And I really take time when I blog. I just don't.
Process.
Yeah, I just don't choose any photos and just like place it on there.
Yeah.
Because if I just chose any photos and just put it on there, it makes no sense.
Right.
It becomes very like inconsistent. People aren't going to get like their day. They're not going to feel the emotion. They're not going to get anything from that work if I just placed random photos.
Right.
So I do take time. I choose every single photo, and it has to kind of correlate to the next photo within the blog. So everything makes sense, but I do put my heart in it.
Right.
And that's what is drawing a lot of attention. It's drawing a lot of drive, and a lot of people are picking it up when they're viewing this blog.
Right. And there's this self-service. So you know what? I'm a really big fan of you scratching your own itch when you're creating your content, not always thinking about the audience, because I know that's really important, but first and foremost, I'm a big fan of serving yourself first. Like for example, the photography blog, there were some clients that'd be like, "How come you didn't put me on your blog?" And you're like, because it's mine. It's my blog. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it all comes out where, what does it mean to you? Like, what inspires you is what you get to place on your blog. It's based on your day. It's based on your week.
Yeah.
Or what's happening.
It's yours.
What's exciting you.
Own it.
Yeah. So.
Own it.
But yeah, I've been blogging very consistently. Well, when we're not busy, but I do blog like every Thursday or every Friday. But from there, I've been doing it for the past 5 years. And since I've been doing it for so long, I'm always getting constant feedback. People are always going back to my website to check out what's new. And they're always inspired by all the sessions we've been photographing, very unique locations. And they do notice, like, oh, I love the colors and I love what you're doing. It's very personable. And
Cool. Yeah, another example, guys, of creating content with heart is the effort, time, passion that you take into putting into every single thing that you put out. So, for example, I design a lot of our websites that we have for our businesses. And for the most part, I get really excited because I'm not a designer by trade or by schooling or anything like that, but I love design. And when I learn how to do something, I get really excited. I'll put my heart into it. But then things sometimes get technical or they get difficult, or I don't know how to do something. And then my passion falls off. It would often fall off in the end of a project. And I would be like, oh, whatever, because I'm so frustrated with the technical aspect of getting it done because I don't know how to do it. And I remember coming to you with that, attitude. It's like, oh, whatever, like I'm tired, right? I'm basically just frustrated. But it stuck in my mind when you're like, no, it's not whatever. And I always kind of remember that from now on, because it kind of it's a very good reminder to always follow through with your heart. You started with passion in the beginning. Creating content with your heart means following through with your heart till the end. So seeing things through to the end and giving your absolute 110% effort all the way through, even when it's hard, difficult, frustrating. And it's cool because that was a very recent lesson for us. If you hit back to episode number 8.
One of the early ones.
If you link back to episode number 8, I think, or 9, we're talking about website design. It's very important that you're not just whatever with your content creation, because that will show. People are going to notice. Even if it's not very obvious, it's going to show in the overall, look and feel of your brand, your work. And that in turn affects you, psychologically too. If you're kind of whatever at the end, you keep, executing that kind of pattern, you're kind of a whatever kind of character now, whatever kind of discipline.
Picture yourself going in a 99-cent store. It's like whatever.
It's like whatever,
But apply that when you're going to Nordstrom's or something. It's not whatever. They take time to make everything organized, something approachable.
Right. Yeah. Be proud of what you put out in the very end. And I think that's a very, hard lesson for me, because I love design and I would do this kind of thing where it's like, yay, and then, fall off when I don't know how to do something. And now it's whatever. And so that doesn't really help me as an entrepreneur or as a designer or just as a human being, because you have this kind of falling off passion for what you're doing. So I would say, don't do that shit. Follow through, execute 110% all the way through. All right.
And take your time.
Take your time. Yeah, that's my hardest thing. It's like taking my time. Like, we're going to get into this later, but I'm now designing shirts. So I get too excited.
And she can't sleep. So when you can't sleep, you can't design because you can't think.
I was tired, but I'm wired too, just off, well, we're going to get into that later. But Take your time. I know you're excited about what you're creating as online content creators, but make sure it's something that you're really proud of and that you would actually wear or listen to or watch, or click on or buy. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk takeaways.
Yeah.
So the first takeaway from creating content with heart, I would say, first off, right off the bat again, just to, repeat it so you get it, would be to give your 110% effort, attention, passion, heart behind whatever you are putting out every single time, like we try to do with this podcast. Yeah.
And for me to take away, I would say, so since you're putting 110% on whatever you do, you have to be consistent in whatever you're creating. And as that consistency grow, you'll actually see some
results.
Yeah, some results.
Yes.
As well as being distinguished. So
distinguishable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we spoke about being distinguished a while back and choosing which mentors, which direction you want to take it to. But you'll try to find yourself and making yourself different from others.
Yeah.
Progressively.
Right. So we should be able to pick you out amongst the crowd, right? And say, ooh, that's so-and-so. Ooh, that's so-and-so.
Yeah.
And another thing, is, we say it's like building an empire or a castle or a huge ass, Great Wall of China wall. You've got to lay each brick down, every episode, every blog post, every piece of content that you're putting out that supports your brand with 110% effort. And you just keep laying these bricks down, the building blocks of your brand until you look back and you're like, holy crap, I've got a magnificent castle that nobody can break down, or this wall that's just incredibly strong because you took that time in the beginning and care, passion, and heart to really execute on what you're doing in the beginning. So, those are the takeaways.
Our castle is
I think our castle is very strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The photography castle is super strong.
We are established.
Yeah. 70 pages of content.
Yeah. We are very, very proud of that because in the very beginning, it was like, even though we weren't seeing eye to eye with each other sometimes, we didn't even know how to communicate with each other. We had this overarching vision that we're going to create an outstanding product and give outstanding service to the customer.
Yeah. All the time. That's consistency right there.
Yeah, that really brought us through to this moment where we look back and we go, yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good. We don't worry about booking. We don't worry about, where our brand is going. We only look forward and say, cool, this is what, we want to move towards next. And we want you guys to feel that same kind of spring from your platform. But it takes time.
Yeah,
it takes patience. Yeah, for sure. So good job. Yeah, I think
good job.
Yeah,
to us, and hopefully you guys can take away all those ideas and apply it to yourself.
Yes, please
apply it
do.
to your business. Just not yourself, but.
All right. So let's talk questions. So we've got a question, and you want to read the first question?
Yeah. So the first question is by Raymond Spartz. Clean. That's what you started off with.
Well, it's kind of a conversation, so sorry.
Oh, okay. So I'll just skip down to the question. How did you reach new and noteworthy on iTunes? What does one have to do to get noticed like that?
All right, Raymond. So thank you for your question. We got on new and noteworthy a couple of ways. And the first thing was, we researched, right? Okay.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did some research.
Yeah, we did some research, and what it said was to get a lot of supporters.
Yeah.
To give you reviews. Those people really listened to us and gave authentic reviews, which allowed iTunes to pick that up. So iTunes is like, they have robots like Google where they detect if there's a review that's fake or it's actually real.
Yep.
So yeah, we had 20 legit reviews.
Yeah.
That brought us up a little bit. And
no, we only had like 11 at the time that got us into the list, right? Or something like that. It was like 11 or? I think
there were some pending, but.
Oh, pending. Yeah. So yeah.
But reviews helped.
Reviews really help. So I believe that, because we were looking at a bunch of documents and a lot of them were saying, You need to have so many downloads. And we were like, what's downloads? Is that the same as plays? And then we got frustrated with that for a minute, and they were like, I don't care, whatever.
Yeah.
And then let's just try to do what we know how to do, which was get reviews.
Yeah.
So let me break it down for you though, Raymond, because before you get into asking people to review your show, you want to take time, passion, heart to create content or a show that is distinguishable, provides value.
Yeah. That relates to your brand and what you're offering.
Right. And I would say entertaining, because in some way or form, whether it's like, you know, somebody out there is being entertained by us, or being entertained by, you know, people who don't curse, and being entertained by, you know, all these little niches, right? So really kind of dial into who you want to speak to. That way, you know, you're creating a content that's going to resonate with people. Yeah. So first and foremost is create something that's
distinguishable.
That, you know, that fills all those kind of requirements that I just talked about. Then go and tell everybody and their mom about it. Okay. So try to get on people's shows you market it. Try to get on people's shows, talk to your friends on the net, in the interwebs. Promote it like in your videos, like I did on YouTube. I was telling everybody and their mom about this new podcast thing that I wasn't really sure what it was going to become. Yeah. But I was marketing it. And then straight up asking people, hey, can you take some time to listen to this show? And if you dig it, can you leave us a review? And so, just like take advantage of all the people who will like not even listen to the show, but probably give you a review. Yeah. You know, there's probably a lot in there. People do that.
And another secret, well, it's not really a secret, but make content prior to launching.
Oh, yeah. Good. Yeah.
So making a lot of people suggested to make 40 videos and 40 podcasts.
That would have been
SoundCloud.
Really, that would have been awesome. But
yeah, that would have been awesome. But if you don't have that much, it's still okay. Like we made only 8. Yeah. And we still made it on there. I saw people that made it on there with 3.
Yeah.
So it just tells you that it's probably based on reviews and the number of plays.
Right.
So downloads and plays are the same in a way when you're like clicking on someone that you're interested in listening to, that they're actually downloading that podcast for you. Right. That way, in case if you lost reception, you're still able to hear them.
Right. Okay. So did we answer it? I think that was everything. If you want more specifics about that, Raymond, or anybody else who's listening, ask us in the comments. All right. So, okay. The second question I'm going to read from ctradio 85. What's up, man? What kind of businesses do you guys run?
So we run Snap It Fancy Photo Booth. So that we provide photo booth service for weddings and corporate events. Yep. We also run Kevin Levu Photography Inc. Yep. So we shoot mainly weddings and engagements, and occasionally corporate headshots and corporate events. And I'm launching a new company called Clean Media Productions, where we handle personal branding. So a lot more coming in that. I'm still developing the content and the site for all of that right now, and I'm having a grand old time being patient, being patient and really trying to find out who I'm trying to serve, which is pretty much clear now. But more information and stuff on that later on, because there is a lot of things that I'm finding out which would be relevant to you guys listening, starting a company from nothing. And, well, not nothing, because we have this kind of experience now. And so what is that going to mean for launching a company bare bones, you know, now that we have this knowledge? So I think that's going to be really exciting, which I can't wait to share with you guys. And we're running Get in the Lab.
And we're running Get in the Lab, which in itself is a little bit of a business now that we have monetized with sponsors. And now, surprisingly, we said we were going to talk about it. So we now have Club Smash apparel. So
that's right.
Yeah.
we haven't gotten our shirts yet, but it will be available soon.
Right. So now we're designing shirts. We're now going to have a clothing line, and that is because I personally have always wanted to do this since I was like in 7th or 8th grade. And now it's finally possible with the technology and the knowledge that I have, and perhaps now the platform that we have. And so we just ordered ours. You'll get to see that in who knows, but we're pretty excited. And so now, we have 4 businesses.
Yeah. And it was created with thought and heart. So
it was created with a lot of heart.
Yeah, you'll see why it kind of resembles back to what Get in the Lab is.
Yeah,
so,
and who we are as well.
and who we are.
So,
because we love shirts, we love art, and
yes, don't you see?
Every show we're wearing something different, but it actually complements who we are and what we like.
Right. Another tip onto the transparency of your brand.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, third question. Go ahead, B.
All right. So this is from Michelle Ingolfsson. What do you guys do in the face of doubters and haters?
All right.
That's the first one. There's two more.
Okay. Go ahead.
And number 2, sometimes I have days where I'm just tired of going. Mm-hmm. What do you guys do to motivate, inspire each other to keep on trucking? Mm-hmm. Number 3, what are 3 roadblocks you have experienced since launching Get in the Lab, and what have you done to get past that?
Oh,
so let's start with number 1.
Okay.
What do you guys do in the face of the doubters and haters?
Doubters and haters. Okay. You know what? In the 2 years that I've been creating content, I haven't had any doubters, or doubters maybe. Haters, no. I haven't had any experience with haters. And thank God, thank goodness.
Well, I mean, I worked with a few people, and they would give me suggestions. I'm not sure if that's like a hater.
That's not a hater. A hater is being like somebody writes on your blog, like, I could freaking do that. Your shit is so generic. That's a hater.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, in photography, no.
Thank goodness, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
because that would make me cry. No, not really.
Inside.
I'll be like, screw this. I'll throw my camera at their face or something.
Oh, man. I can't even.
No.
Doubters.
No, we don't have any doubters or haters. Oh, actually, my mom or my dad was a doubter that they felt we can't grow a photography business, or they're like, oh, why don't you just stick with nursing? And you'll get that $60,000 a year, and and you really don't love it.
I love it how you were like, $60,000. That's nothing.
That is nothing. Sadly enough.
Wow.
Sadly enough, because it's not enough for our lifestyle.
You're right. Yeah. You're right. It's enough for some people, and for us, we want a certain lifestyle. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's very true. We're going to have an episode on perspectives on money and making money and earning money and all that stuff, because it's we have some really great dynamic there.
Yeah.
Next time.
Yeah. So, but for the most part, it was the parents, because a lot of parents they hate art. They don't think
they hate it.
They don't think you can make money from art. But
so what did you do to get over that?
Did it bother you? I just ignored them and just kept on doing what I'm good at. It just
Sometimes even I think the closest people, and I'm going to speak a little bit. I kind of forgot because we're so supportive of each other now. But back in the day, our own relationship, supporting each other, we weren't really supportive of each other. We weren't really a team. We weren't supporting each other.
We were actually competitive.
We were competitive
towards each other,
and we didn't really want to say it.
Yeah, but it was cool in a way, because it allowed her to really step up the game.
Yeah, it more made me angry and then take action. So at least there was something.
The taking action part.
At least I took action from the anger. Anger.
At least you didn't step down.
Yeah, at least I didn't get discouraged and be like, I don't want to do this anymore. I think I'm too proud to do that. So thank goodness.
Yeah.
All right. So second one.
Number 2. Sometimes I have days where I'm just tired of going. What do you guys do to motivate, inspire each other to keep on trucking?
To inspire each other. Okay, so
inspire each other.
This week's perfect example. So you keep telling me that this is your hell week basically.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's just busy.
It's basically busy.
Yeah, hell week's a strong word, but basically, you have a lot of shit going on.
Yeah.
So you just had back-to-back weddings. Mm-hmm. Then you have an engagement tomorrow, engagement the next day. Back-to-back engagement. And then you have another shoot on Friday, and then a wedding on Saturday.
All week of editing.
And all week editing, culling.
Yeah.
And guys, this is very labor intensive, and it gets very tedious because you just sit there. Next, okay. Next, delete. Next, okay. It's just very tedious work, and I used to do that. Thank goodness. And Well, see, that's why, we're trying to get editors in and, free to offload your work and stuff
Well,
like
I'm
that.
very thankful that Amy is editing another wedding for
Yeah,
us,
that's cool. Yeah, if we can get that going, that would be really good for you.
But what motivates and inspires us to keep on going?
To keep on going. So I just tell you, just one thing at a time. Just one thing at a time. You keep looking at the big picture. If you can just focus on what you need to do today and then just get that done, then it's good. Then you just move on to the next day.
Yeah.
Get that done, and then you're good. It's just like school too. Like in school, I can't even go back to all of the craziness that we used to do, like back-to-back classes, run here, run there, homework, study, job.
Yeah.
All that stuff, like you find a way to just make it happen.
Yeah.
And the best way is to just focus at one thing at a time. You're okay here. Now I'm shooting engagement. Okay. Now I'm culling.
Yeah.
Again, putting 100%, 110% effort into whatever task that you're doing.
As well as when you're scheduling whatever you're planning for your agenda. Just
don't do that to yourself.
Just don't do that to yourself. Kind of spread it out.
Yeah.
Make sure you have room to dedicate that amount of time for each single event.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think, before when we were 22, 23, you can go. We can just go.
Yeah.
Now we're feeling a little bit our age, and I'm not saying we're old, whatever, we can't take it. But that's just the kind of law of life. You get older, you get a little bit
we just get wiser within
tired.
Our field.
That too.
Yeah.
Like, don't do that to yourself.
Yeah.
You need to sleep. You need to live.
Yeah.
You need to relax, And for me to get back motivated, like I'll hustle for a very long time. Like from 6 a.m. to about 2. That's when I'm smartest, most active and effective. And then after that, if I don't get anything done after that, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
I'll just play video games until I fall asleep. That's what will happen. And I'm okay with that. Like I don't beat myself up for that, Yeah.
Let's move on to number 3. What are the 3 roadblocks you have experienced since launching Get in the Lab? What have you done to get past that?
Okay. So we talked it over a little bit on our break to just kind of get our facts straight. The first one definitely was self-doubt. Yeah, self-doubt. So why don't you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, I thought I wouldn't ever be comfortable in front of the camera or speaking on a podcast because my content and how I deliver or present myself wasn't going to be consistent with Megan's. And I felt like I couldn't share myself enough to be where we are today. So I thought I won't be valuable enough for viewers.
That I think this is such a classic case of self-doubt, especially with podcasters, because we are not only podcasting, we are doing video. And I understood that this was going to be kind of a big task for you to take on, but I was confident that I could lead you to feel confident because we had come so far in our relationship as far as, you being understanding and patient with me, and then again being able to influence you for on all of my marketing ideas and shit that we should do in our businesses and stuff like that. I was super confident, and I already saw in you that you had a lot of potential, that you weren't doing anything wrong. And that's the thing with people, they get so introspective and they put this microscope on themselves whenever they're creating content in the beginning, because one, they're not used to it. You weren't used to it. And secondly, you're sitting next to somebody who has more than a year experience podcasting.
Yeah.
So I understood that it felt maybe like there's this comparison going on.
Yeah.
Again, I'm so thankful about our relationship and what it's turned into, because now I can finally tell you, no, it's not that way.
Yeah.
I'm here to just kind of be your support. I'm leading you. I don't mind doing a little bit more, talking a little bit more, being a little bit more on.
Which is very similar now, flip-flopping it when we first started. I was supporting her, getting her engaged into it, but
getting engaged.
But the only getting engaged into the weddings.
Yeah. Oh, I got excited.
No. Oh. But anyways, so
no, yeah,
it
you're
wasn't.
right.
Yeah, it was sort of
That's
similar
exactly what I
because
said. Yeah.
I know there was times when you felt like I'm not sure if this is.
Oh, it was
Yeah, you
so
did-
hard for me.
But you did feel it, and I believe Michelle, you probably felt that same way as well about photography when you first started. And yeah, so what's some tips about getting over self-doubt? Here?
Yeah. So, it's all about that line of communication, because before, like I said, you're supporting me figuring out this online thing, even though you didn't understand what the hell I was doing. You said, I'll support you with, we have a photography business that's basically established. And I was
How about
okay,
for yourself? Like if you had to do it for yourself rather than having a partner trying to
do it for myself. So
because I think Michelle was working on her own, so
right.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes I felt like I was on my own, and even trying to lead you. Sometimes leaders do feel alone because they have this burden of leading. Like you must have felt, basically almost carrying me financially for a little bit, right? And so that's probably what it felt like. It wasn't the case, but that's probably what it felt like, especially because we weren't having that line of communication like, hey, it's okay right now.
Yeah.
This is where, I'm pulling weight right now, and then you pull weight for me next time. That's kind of the agreement of a partnership. But being alone and overcoming self-doubt, well, how did you do it? Like, I could tell you over and over, hey, don't worry about it, right? I was doing that a lot. I was getting a little frustrated. I was like, please stop. Don't look at it like that. Nobody gives a fuck. Like, just do your thing. Be you. And it took a lot for me to say that. But then there must have been something in the way I was saying. I wasn't yelling at you, but I mean, what made you get over that? Because
that hump.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
We were in the car, and I think finally you made that kind of switch in your mind.
About what, though, specifically?
So
I don't know.
Because remember, I was like, don't worry about that stuff. Like, nobody's worrying about this, like, micro thing that you're worried about, like how you sound or how you look or you say,
about
or
podcasting.
About podcasting.
I thought we were talking about photography.
No, yeah.
But,
I know, we're getting off topic.
Yeah.
So,
but anyways, like...
Yeah, what was it that, like, finally made you... Because you kept...
Well, because I hate giving up on things, and I just need to keep consistent and keep on doing what...
Yeah.
I just need to improve on things, just like with anything, like photography.
Were you, like, also accepting, like, I'm going to get better. It's not going to get better overnight, but it's going to get better.
And I also wanted a new change in perspective in my life. Like, I wanted something new.
Yeah.
I mean, photography will always be there, and I'll always love it. But I do want some more spark into the side of business. And yeah.
So this is something new and exciting, and it's different.
It's new. It's exciting.
Yeah, it's a branch off.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'd also like to add, like, for self-doubt, it's kind of like having this blind faith. And to me, it's really hard for me to explain to overcoming self-doubt, because a lot of times you think, like, even with you, like, presenting this podcast idea to you, I doubted that a lot.
Yeah.
But I also thought, that was scary. But then I also thought it was scary that I'm never going to run the business in life that I really want, because I never had the balls to actually present you with these ideas and actually execute on these ideas. And so I had just kind of this blind faith that I knew it was possible. I couldn't really see it for myself at that time, but maybe in a way I did. I don't know. It was just a very blind faith where I just said, just do it, because the other alternative is scarier. The other alternative of not saying anything, of not living the life that you really want.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So that was a long-winded answer. We'll cut that up.
Yeah.
Okay. So number 2, the second, what is it? Roadblock that we faced in podcasting was formatting the show.
Yeah. We were confused in how we're going to deliver our content.
Well, just the outline of the show. Like, okay, what do we talk about in the beginning? What do we talk about in mid-roll?
Delivering.
Yeah. You know, because, well, we're going to talk about delivery in the fact that, like, you know, how we actually say what we're saying.
Yeah, or the organization.
The organization, that's a better term for it. So organizing all of our ideas into a coherent episode, that's kind of difficult. One, you know, this is not your typical podcast. This is a conversational, raw, no rules kind of podcast. And so we're just...
But it still needs an outline, still needs to be... It's still, like, for listeners, it has to be organized in a way.
Too.
Yeah, or else it becomes very frustrating. Like, they'll be lost. You're like... About? It's not a radio show. It's not too extreme in that conversational type. Yeah.
And you know what? We're finding our voices here on this podcast because, you know, if you listen, you know, I bet when we put out episode number 28, it's going to be vastly different from number 8. So, I mean, you know, it's just a matter of experimenting and seeing what works for us in the moment of every episode. But
I think it will be different all episodes because it's real. It's very real.
Yeah.
It depends on your mood. Our mood, the setting, if we had enough sleep or whatever,
Dude, we're very temperamental.
It just all depends. It's gonna be different.
So how did we format the show eventually? So now we have this kind of let's break it down from that so they have a kind of concrete example. So now you know we were kind of all over the place, but basically we have an intro.
Yeah.
We have some graphics, whatever. We have we intro. Now we have a sponsorship thingy that we,
we'll announce and then
give our little thing.
We get occasionally when we get questions, we'll kind of throw that out.
Yeah.
For listeners that they'll expect those questions to be answered. We do shaking the box. Yeah,
we do the husband and wife tag. We do updates. We do meat of the episode. The main content or topic, and then we answer questions, and then we close it out.
Yeah.
And so I think having that very kind of simplistic outline really helped us move forward and feel very comfortable with the delivery of or the organization of topics and things at hand for formatting the show.
And taking Omar's
shout out to Omar on the $100 NBA
shout out
show.
to Omar. Thank you for answering Megan's question. It really helped me.
Kevin. I basically answered.
It really helped me.
I asked him your question for you.
But it really helped me. It was very thorough.
Me too. I was taking notes. Like
so, crazy. To further help other people, and what Omar said was, always kind of plan ahead, kind of be very descriptive. In the outline. And kind of recite it with your partner or whoever's going to be on the show. That way, when you guys deliver, it will be more concise. It will be, very full of detail rather than a lot of fluff.
Right. And hopefully, we have some fluff, but that's just because we're...
Yeah.
That's our thing. That's our style.
That little fluff is more based on life experiences.
Right. Right. So hopefully you're seeing that in this episode. And the last roadblock that we've faced is the delivery of content. So mastering your craft and, just getting in front of this mic and be able to talk comfortably about whatever the hell you're talking about. Because it's just like giving a presentation back in the day where you're like, you have it all in your head, but you have to make it make sense when you speak, And so a lot of times your head goes really fast and then your mouth doesn't catch up, right?
Yeah, you're just like,
wait.
When you can listen to yourself, it's weird.
And that, I think, was the best way. I was like, before I produce all these shows, guys, right? So I'm listening to us day in, day out, and like I listen to us over and over again because I have to cut it up, produce it, all that shit. But Kevin doesn't really listen to it because that was the deal. It was like, hey, just show up and talk, right?
Yeah.
And so that was fine, but then he wanted to improve. So I said, okay, well, the best thing for you to do is to listen to yourself.
Yeah.
You have to have this kind of meta, this self-awareness. That way you have a baseline. If you don't know where you're at, how can you improve?
Yeah.
So listening to yourself or watching yourself is a great way to self-improve freaking quick, because you go, oh snap, I hate it when I do that. I used to do this thing where I would rub my earlobe every time I'm doing a video because I was nervous. And I was like, I need to stop doing that shit. It looks so retarded. And so like I don't do that anymore. But when I'm nervous, you'll see me do this. And I'll just kind of like, rub my earlobe, which is freaking annoying.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have these little things about you in which you can see. You just need to have a baseline and then you can improve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully we answer everyone's question. Thank you
answer the crap out of them.
Yeah. Thanks for asking us these questions. Always feel free to ask more if you need any tips about business and just how we do shit.
Yeah. It's what do you call that? Open book.
Yeah.
So, what are we looking forward to this week? Oh, you have Hell Week coming up.
Yeah. I basically said it all.
Yeah, you already said it all. So you're going to be very busy, which is cool. So thank you for taking the time to shoot this show with me.
Yeah.
And and I'm going to be very busy designing some new designs because I'm obsessed with that right now for Club Smash Apparel. You can check that out in the link below. I'd like to take some time to thank our sponsor, audible.com. Visit audibletrial.com/getinthilab podcast for your free downloadable audiobook and a 30-day free trial. They have over 150,000 titles to choose from. What I'm reading right now is Rich Dad Poor Dad, and it's really blowing my mind on finance, money, and stuff like that. You've already read that book. And so now I'm finally playing catch up, and it's really, really awesome. And yeah, I found out I had a very poor mindset towards money, and more on that later. But anyway, thank you so much, guys, for taking some time to get in the lab with us today. Long episode today, but hopefully chock full of good tidbits for you.
Yeah, and thank you, Jared and
Kimanzi
for
featuring us
on entrepreneur.com.
Yeah, we really appreciate that. If you're watching us on YouTube, like this video if you did. Subscribe to the channel for more shit like this. If you're digging the jam, come on down to getinthelab.me for all of these show notes, links, and stuff like that. And ask us some questions on Twitter, and we will feature your beautiful profile picture on the show like we did today. All right, so good things. We'll see you next week. Once again, my name is Megan.
And I'm Kevin.
And we're out.
We out.
See ya.